gentlemen, welcome to WBJ Radio Sports and the Coach Shawn Witten Show. Joined tonight by my partner Tony Briggs and, of course, always head coach Shawn Witten. Tonight we're going to talk a little bit about last week's contest, the hard-fought win against the Daniel Boone Trailblazers, and first big road journey for the Cyclones tonight as we travel all the way up to Tomato Country in Granger County for an important region game. Coach Witten, to begin with tonight, let's talk a little bit about it's good to get back on the field last week to play a ball game against a very tough Daniel Boone opponent. What's your thoughts about the game last week?
Well, our guys played extremely hard, Stacy. I thought our players really deserved a lot of the credit, just a gut-wrenching performance. We found a way to attack the run game, made some adjustments in the second half. We got a great performance by our defense early on. We forced some turnovers, great field position, just weren't able to capitalize on it early. We tried to keep balanced offensively, try to get run and throwing going. But just like Friday night was the night we had to win the game by running the football.
And it's every year. Doesn't matter what the record, doesn't matter wins, losses. We talked about it during last week's show. Daniel Boone is always a tough game, and Coach Jenkins always throws something at you. And same thing happened last Friday night.
Well, I thought we had some opportunities to kind of give us a lead or maybe put the game out of reach. The longer you let them hang around,
yes, sir.
They get a lot of momentum. And I think the biggest thing was early was we had some big plays, then our drives got stalled by some penalties, put us behind the down and distance. And right off the gate, even the first three games, we've had the ball opening possessions, driving the link, moving the ball quite a bit, and we've just stalled on our drives. We made some adjustments. We got right now our best run play is a lot of the speed option where Bryson can read it or pitch it. We've done a great job of getting attacking there, and then we just struggled really to find that second receiver. The guy that can kind of step up. Our plan, going against Boone was to leave Nate receiver. We felt that if we could get Zeth or Holzer some early work in there to spare Cade some, that if we left Nate a receiver, it would give us two weapons on each side, or some nice combination routes there. We also try to put in some different plays with Nate at receiver. That just didn't seem to work Friday. But I really like the way that we ran the ball really hard. Our offensive line did a great job second half of just picking up the blocks, sustaining drives. I thought a big drive in the game was right at halftime. They scored on the first play, and then we followed with a great drive. That was probably the best drive of the year at this point.
Me and Stacy was talking leading up, and especially in the first half, between the 20 and the 20, we could move the ball with ease. When we got inside the 20, it seemed like we struggled a little bit with, like you said, a holding penalty here, a false start penalty. It puts you behind the chains, and when it puts you behind the chains, you start reaching a little bit and trying to be who you're not.
Well, I think the biggest thing sometimes too is we're a block or just a crease away, and when you can see it on film, we're doing a great job of where we're attacking. We're still young in a lot of ways. That's not any excuse, but we if we can get ourselves a little bit of lead, give ourselves a little bit of cushion, create some early confidence between our linemen, and trying to find another weapon to kind of step up. I thought we got that with Holzer a little bit. He gave us some spark. Cade, there's no, he's our unsung hero to this point. I mean, on both sides of football, he's playing so hard, he's playing so tough. He's doing a great job. The second half, he was all heart, all effort, and I thought our defense did a great job. They continued to give us the ball back after ball back after ball back. Eventually, they're going to kind of make a few plays here and there, and then Boone's always a tough football team. They get a little momentum, you let them hang around a little bit, and they start believing, and next thing you know, they're just super sky high. And that's why this game, the rivalry, has been so good, because it's a tough game. They're big up front. Fortunate for us, we were able to get the run game going. Devin did a great job in the second half of challenging offensive linemen at halftime, just sustaining the blocks. We were able to make some adjustments off the iPad, and just really like the way that Cade and Bryson really took the lead in the second half.
You go back, I think our record's 34-2 against Boone, but you go back, with 22 of those games been one possession. Speaking of the defense, you had a couple of new faces playing down linebacker, the new kid transferred in, and then you moved Cade down. Was the decision to move Cade down based upon the personnel that Boone would have?
Well, we knew they were going to try to come out and spread, set us a little bit, and try to do some things. And Boone's on film had shown to get the ball out early, shown to even throw some running back flares, some get the ball out wide there. So we felt that we moved TJ to the weak side linebacker. We put Cade at the star linebacker down. We started Zeth, and then we felt like Cade would be better off maybe closer to the line of scrimmage, playing running back and outside linebacker there. It worked really for the first 2 series. Cade was the one that came in there and forced that fumble. That ball went flying, which was really good to see. But, we knew they were going to try to maybe limit what our defensive line could do, try to get the ball out in space. We wanted to kind of take care of that. And Boone is also a heavy sprint-out passing team, where they roll the quarterback out to the field. They'll also sprint into the boundary. They were able to kind of do a lot of things against us in the years past. So we felt like Cade has a great awareness and great understanding of that. But I'm going to tell you, Eli Williams is a football player. We inserted him at the Mike linebacker position. He's very tough. He's got a great football mind. And we felt that him behind our defensive line gave us a chance to stop the inside run game and allow us to be versatile at the outside linebacker positions.
That'll do it for the first half recap on Daniel Boone. We come back after these words. We'll preview tonight's first road contest and the second conference game of 2021 season. We'll be back after these words. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to the Coach Shawn Witten Show. Coach, got a long road trip ahead of us, the longest one on the season so far. What do you expect from this Cyclone team coming out after an hour and 45 minutes-ish bus ride? Well,
today is just a lot of, we've got to really execute. I mean, we've got to be rolling. We got to look the part. We can't have penalties and mistakes and mental errors. We're almost at the halfway point for us. I mean, we should have already played 4 games at this point, but week 5, here we are. We got a lot of big games coming up in the next weeks of our schedule. And so, seriously, we've had to really take a look at ourselves and get better. And if we're not getting better in small areas and we're not making those promises to each other, then it's going to come back and bite us in the next couple of weeks. So today is really about, it's a business trip, to come out and play, to look the part, to feel like we've made some improvements, that we have something we can work off going into next week. We've got to find multiple receivers that can catch the ball. We've got to find multiple players in the secondary that can step up and make some plays. We've got to continue to be more aggressive. I thought we were really a lot more aggressive last Friday against Boone. We were flying around, we were making plays, more game tackles, more interactive. We were more penetration by the defensive line, the defensive ends, and Caleb Johnson and Brad were, we had tackles for loss, we had sacks, we had forced fumbles. We just looked better all the way around, so we need that tonight.
And speaking of tonight, not looking past this game, but what do you want to see going into next week, Anderson County, and then you got East, and you got a gauntlet coming up of the next 6 games before it really takes hold?
Well, we've got about 7 players, and they're young guys, and between spring practice and summer practice and fall scrimmages, we've got 7 players between Zeth Mullins, Caleb Holger, Cam Baker, Dry Griffith, Teddy Orton, Dalton Mitchell, Nate. Somebody's got to step up at the slot receiver position. Luke Whaley was inserted at the Greenville game. We've got to have productivity at the skill positions to kind of move us going forward. And we've got to find something, kind of what we want to, the identity, H-back, 2 H-backs, tight end, multiple formations. We still have not had that intensity on every rep on our offensive performance. So we've got to have a core group of young guys. And then, we've got to find ways maybe to move Jake around. We experienced that a little bit with Parker towards the year. I'm not sure that Jake's a running back to say, but he's got to be able to move around across the field so they can try to find different ways to get him the ball.
Coach, and I want to pick up, this is a business trip. I like that comment because, when we saw this schedule, when it came out, everybody's like, wow, Science Hill, and then Ray County didn't come, but then Greenville week 3, and then boom. There's not been a breather since that Science Hill game. And is that kind of what you're talking about? Because by this time in the season, we played Science Hill, but we've had a couple of lesser opponents to try to fill some of these positions. It seems like every week up to this point, you know, it's been a sense of urgency against Greenville, and then after the loss, it's like, you know, how are the kids going to react? What do we need to do? So is that kind of what you're talking about? We got to get some footing here.
Yeah, I think we just need more consistency. You know, I mean, we just got to be, you know, things that we know that we can do really well. You know, and what is that? You know, a lot of times when you play some of those games, you are getting better and you do feel better, but there's still some unknowns. Well, can you do that against this team? You know, can we get guys step up? And so we've been through the fire, you know, and our guys, you know, we've got to get those guys to make those plays in the game. You know, they got to be confident. You know, we got to make those plays, and it's good to see though that your leaders step up. I mean, I thought that our seniors really responded really well Friday. It was good to see Bryson, you know, be in front of, and at the halftime to, you know, grab those guys, and you know, I thought he ran the ball really hard. And down here on the fourth down, you know, we had an opportunity to. You know, we went for it, you know, and he made a guy miss a tackle, and he ended up running for the end zone. And so you watch it on film, and we're so close, you know, we really are. But just the confidence we have in our teammates, the confidence that we can distribute the ball at times. And it was good to see Jake go out and compete for the ball. That was a big time play for us. We needed that a week ago going against Stevenson for Greenville. But we're learning in some small areas, but we need a great deal of consistency. You know, just in all three phases, in all areas, just from the secondary, just, you know, we come out second half, we give up first play, they go right down the field and score. So, you know, we're a little off in some areas. Unlike Science Hill, we last 2 weeks we've dug ourselves in a hole. We've got to fight ourselves crawling out of it. You know, we can't have that in the next couple of weeks.
You know, and we've talked about this all year too, about the target on Elizabethton's back. Same thing tonight when we roll into Granger County. You know, regardless of what their record is, they think they have a chance. And so what do you expect to see from this Granger County Grizzly team?
Well, I mean, you know, they're going to have a lot of pride. They're going to play really hard. They're going to play us tough. They're going to do a lot of things to kind of keep the ball away from us and you know, kind of, you know, do a lot of, you know, formation changes a little bit. You know, they're kind of searching for themselves. You know, they had a disappointing loss to Solonese last week. So, you know, nothing to lose type mentality. And, you know, and this game is still a lot about us. I mean, we just got to, you know, in small areas, take some strides. You know, we just got to do a great job of this, even getting, you know, Jake the ball or Nate to play. You know, we've got to get guys step up. We need secondary guys to make some tackles. You know, we've got to find. You know, tonight you're going to see Blake back in the lineup, so that's good. You know, maybe he's a missing piece that we need, and then just some continuity amongst the offensive line, you know, just who we can run behind in some short yardage situations, you know, what we've got to do to find our best plays, and, you know, maybe it's our best group, you know, where we need to move some guys around so we can start settling in. And, you know, we also need some more valuable effort from our other players, you know, Harrison Lane, Bryson Davis from our special team user, you know, Mason Ball, Wesley Shankles, you know. We just got to play more of that physicality, more of that dominating performance, and that mentality of kind of going out and, you know, kind of my granddad used to say, get that juggler and just go right for the kill right from the get-go.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's the final word from Coach Shawn Witten here on WBJ Radio Sports. We're going to take a break now. When we come back, Tony and I will break down our opening comments for the game and have your starting lineups. And then at 7:30 sharp here on the flagship station for Cyclone football, WBJ, will have the Elizabethton Cyclones as we travel tonight to Granger County. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome here to halftime of tonight's ball game between Elizabethton Cyclones and Grizzly. So Granger County, we're joined tonight by number 21, Nate Stevens, Jr. Nate, appreciate you being here. Thank you for taking time out.
Yes, sir. Thank you for inviting me.
All right, Nate, we're going to start off as congratulations on the back-to-back for the last 2 years. Coming into this year, you were relied on to have a little bit bigger role. How did you go ahead and approach the off-season with knowing that you're going to be more of a quote-unquote focal point for this offense?
Yeah, I did my best to get bigger. I was in the weight room all often. I try to work on my speed, just my skills, everything. Try to improve my skill set.
One thing that I've noticed, and Stacy and I Stacy and I have noticed is you're like the Energizer Bunny out there. It seems like you never get tired. You can play offense, defense, special team, kick return, and you never come off or you never seem winded. What do you attribute that to?
I don't know. I guess practice. Because practice, yeah, they push us in practice, so yeah, they get us prepared for stuff like that.
Would it be any of the little Terrence gene coming out in you?
No, I guess a little bit. Yes, sir.
Yeah, which we're going to outdo him already. I've already told him that you're going to be ahead of him by the time it's said and done. Going into this season, back to talking about tonight, the Cyclone team, we had a big old bullseye, not only on the front, but also on the back. The loss against Greenville, as painful as it was, how did you see going into the Daniel Boone game last week, which is a very pesky Boone team, how did you see that we learned from that loss going against Greenville that we brought into Daniel Boone?
We just learned that, we just got to bounce back. Everybody was counting on us to bounce back from that loss, and we did, and I feel like that was really important for us.
And going into tonight's game, this is the first game truly of the long road game of the year, probably the longest one we got this year, not counting Science Hill, which was hop, skip, and jump. How do you and your teammates prepare yourself? First of all, you're out of school on Friday, game day, which is something that only happens around fall break. So how do you prepare yourself getting ready when you're out of the ritual of getting up, coming to class, going to school, and then getting ready to play ball? How will you get yourself ready?
Well, we have film in the morning here, so that helps with kind of staying in the routine. But we just got to stay focused, and that's really the main thing. Just staying focused, watching our film, and making sure we have everything on.
And going forward, after tonight's game, this is our second conference game. Got plenty of football left to go. I think we're 2-1. We still got 6 games left after tonight's game. What do you look for this Cyclone team? Not only you, but Bryson, Cade, Jake. What do you all look to accomplish week in and week out? Are you got like a measuring stick where you say, we want to do this or we want to do that, or is it just something that goes off the field?
It just week by week, we just got to focus on the next game. If we did something poorly the last game, we just got to focus on making it better the next game. That's how we're going to move forward.
All right, a couple more questions, then we'll wrap it up. Got a lot of youth on this inexperienced team. You're the upperclassman. You're looking to be a leader. You played on Friday nights since your freshman year. How do you go in and take these young folks under your wing and try to help them get ready? And how do you personally push them to make sure that whenever their number's called, because it's next man up, we've seen it before, next man up, whenever that next man's up and they're ready to go, then how do you make sure that they're ready?
I just let them know that they can do it. Just try to prepare them as much as they can. Try to build up their confidence, and that's really the key.
And finally, we started this segment last year. It was, what's it mean to be a Cyclone? It's a 2-part question. What does it mean for Nate Stevens to be a Cyclone and carry on that family tradition, because it's a long list of lineage? And second question is, what do you want to do as your legacy before you leave next year?
Family-wise, I've had a lot of family members play here, so I just try to do my best and be me. I don't really try to be anybody else. I just try to do what I'm supposed to do. And as for what legacy I want to leave, I just want to leave as being a hard-working player, making a difference on the team, and being able to help my team win.
I remember when you was knee-high, you wasn't barely big enough. Football was almost as big as you. You go to Brown Childress, and that's when Caleb played, our Caleb, and Ethan. You was constantly around the ball, and I knew you had something special because you constantly had a football in it. And Nate, as always, we appreciate you taking your time. And good luck the rest of the season. And I'll go ahead and keep reminding Terrence that you're going to outdo him. So
Yes, sir.
We'll go back to the station for this timeout. When we come back, Stacy and I will have the halftime stats, and we'll preview the third quarter. We'll be back after these words. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We got Coach Jeff Pierce, the former Cyclone, joining us. Coach Pierce, it's an honor to have you here speaking with us today. And we was talking earlier offline. You played back in the mid to late '70s. Tell us what the difference between then and the players now.
Well, I think the biggest difference is in the off-season training regimen. It's so much more complex now. Of course, you've had advances in fitness and training over the years, and that's just made the game more competitive. The kids are bigger, stronger, faster. And part of it may be genetics, but I think a lot of it has to do with the off-season programs and like Coach Witten said the other day, like everybody's working hard now. And it's just a race to keep up, with the Joneses, so to speak. And I think that's the biggest difference. Obviously, the defenses and offenses are more complex, but I think the biggest difference is just the fact that the off-season programs, people are basically working year-round now. That's everybody, not just us. The bigger schools, that's pretty much everybody.
Yeah, if you haven't turned it into a year-round sport, then whatever sport it may be, then you really fall behind because it is turned into a year-round. And just to continue on that, as a coach, how hard is it to adapt to some of the new schemes that you see? Is it the old adage, the old blocking system still is worth its weight in gold, or is it something that you have to revisit and try to scheme-wise come up with something different?
Well, you have to continually tweak what you do because the defense, as an offensive coach, the defenses are doing the same thing. They the old days of playing the old 5-2 defense and even the 4-3, that's almost a thing of the past. The defense, used to the linebackers, they tell the linebackers, hey, you line up over guards. Defensive tackles, you're lined up on the tackle. Well, now, they'll move the defensive tackle 6 inches, and that can completely, change your approach to blocking that particular defense. So it's not the same old thing. It can't be because if the defenses are changing and adapting and evolving, then you have to do the same thing offensively. Because the same schemes won't work. That's the bottom line. If one side changes, it's like you can go back and make this argument. You go all the way back to the college back in the day. Oklahoma, Nebraska, those guys, they ran that wishbone and triple option, cross buck, and all that kind of stuff. Well, when teams started going, started on the West Coast first, they started to run spread offenses and so forth. Well, the defenses couldn't stay the same because you couldn't defend that. So I don't know if it's kind of which came first, the chicken or the egg. So which changed first? The offenses changed, of course, the defenses changed, and the defense guys kind of figured out, well, hey, we can adapt, we can change a little bit, and defend this new type of offense, and then figure out, well, hey, we just need to, continually change what we do. So that's the difference. It literally can change game to game, year to year, defensively especially. Offensively, not so much. I mean, you've got an offensive scheme, a particular package. If you run a spread, it's hard to jump into, out of the blue, you're just going to jump into a power set. I mean, that's the personnel too. If you don't have the big top fullbacks, you can line people up there, but I don't know if you're gaining an advantage by doing that or not. And the wing T teams, like an example, Solid North, it's like the triple option. If you're going to run that offense, you have to practice it. I mean, you can't just go out there and line up in and run it. So there's only so much practice time. So you're going to get in a situation where you need to run a spread type offense. You don't really have practice time to devote to it, so it can be very difficult. Like I said, Solid North would jump into a spread, and it was difficult for them because you just don't have the practice time to devote to it to be able to do it effectively. You know, so it's it's a lot more complex. Basically, the bottom line is football's a lot more complex on both sides of the ball than it was back in the day.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And the final thing is, we'll touch on like the technology end of it. With the huddle sideline and what you're able to physically pull a guy off the sideline while it's fresh in their mind and point to it, that's a huge difference. And a lot of the fans may not know how great a teaching tool that is.
Oh yeah, I mean like I said, back in the day, it was you waited a second. Okay, let's just play a scenario for you here. When I was playing, a lot of times, Bruce Hargrove and I, we would ride with Coach Turpin and Coach Perkins, and they would take the film, literally 16 millimeter film out of the camera to a photo place in Johnson City to get it developed. Drop it off late Friday night, pick it up early Saturday morning. And so Saturday morning would be the earliest you could see anything on film.
Mm-hmm.
Be able to watch anything. Well, now, when the offensive line comes off the field or the defense unit comes off the field with huddle, it's instant. We can go right to the TV, and pull it up, and the plays that we just ran are already loaded, and you can watch them. It's like I said, it's instant, and that's an invaluable tool. Like you said, it's something that you can't really describe how helpful that is, because it's still fresh on the players' minds for one thing.
Yeah.
What they just did, and then you can show them, and it's like it's like somebody drawing a picture of what just happened. Here's a picture of it, and that's just something. There's really no value you can put on it. It's truly invaluable.
Right. Well, Coach, as always, we appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to talk to us here at halftime of tonight's game with Granger County. And as always, we look forward to talking to you again. And let's go ahead and finish out the second half and get back on the road and head home and get ready to get to the back end of the season. Coach, we appreciate it.
You're quite welcome, brother. I appreciate you.
Yes, sir. We'll go back to the station for these words, and when we come back, we'll have the kickoff to the second half of tonight's Elizabeth and Granger County game. We're back after these words.